Motherfucker. Okay, let me try this simulation mode. I want to see how the car drives. Probably a bad idea, but you never know until you try. Maybe it's more Gran Turismo this way.
Wave me goodbye. Let's go.
You made a map? Nice. Wait, simulation actually... Dude, simulation actually is easier to drive. Are you kidding me? What the hell? Why will simulation be easier to drive? Like, what's the thought that crosses your mind when your simulation mode is easier than your arcade mode? Like, I knew that the arcade mode has something weird. Like, this is a lot easier. This actually, like, responds to what you're doing. The arcade mode, as I said, you will steer, and if you steer too much, the car will stop steering. But this one steers as much as you want. I can't believe it, dude. Like, I might be able to actually play hard. Well, maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself here. For now, let's just try normal. And what is the map about? It's from Teton. I guess I should have imagined that. Yeah, that makes sense. It was to be expected. And this almost makes me want to play on hard, dude. Almost. I feel like I can do it. Like, this drives so naturally now, dude. It's so... Man, how do you even fuck up the arcade driving so much that the simulation is better and easier? I can't believe it.
Let's go.
Alright. I think the issue is that the arcade driving equals ABS. There is an assisted brake system there. Though, or, well, something like that at least. Though, it started like... It stopped the steering even when I wasn't braking, so it can be just that. Whatever. This now I know. Also, these guys are ruthless, dude. Like, you try to overtake them and they block you like it's nobody's business. And when you're next to them, they try to chase you off. It's so messed up. Oh. I'm also surprised at the fact that the police is there. And the fact that we are doing this illegal racing in the middle of the city and they don't give a shit. Maybe we bribe them. Have the police completely bribe. And they give no shits. It also seems that this is supposed to be a Hispanic neighborhood, because there was a sign that say La Tijera, which means the scissor in Spanish. So maybe this is supposed to be Miami, maybe Texas, like South Texas, or maybe California, I don't know. Could be many places. But you know, it just says USA, so there is a very large selection to pick from. And Chapin also, it doesn't say where it is, but you know, it's okay. I mean, maybe one of the signs actually says.
Wave me goodbye. Let's go.
Let's go. Something that I noticed, Draynot, is that you are playing a Miku puzzle game that I didn't even know it existed. But, you know, I checked it and it looked interesting. I guess I could wait for a sale. But yeah, didn't even know that that game existed. I'm not sure exactly what sort of puzzles it has. Well, I saw one that was, I think, that thing called Picross, which is basically, depending on the numbers of the sides, you select the cells in the middle. It's pretty much only that. Oh, it's just Picross? Really? Alright. Well, I mean, I don't mind it only being Picross, but I expected it will be like more like assorted puzzles. This guy was just standing there. Alright. Now that's a very smart idea from the developers. Like making a Picross game and just slapping Miku and friends to make it sell. That's very, very smart, I gotta say. Very, very smart. Oops. Wait, is this asshole gonna overtake? No. Okay. Nice. Does he say amazing at the end? I think he does. And now we go to Alpine. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say Alps. Like, Alpine is not a place, it's an adjective, isn't it? Or I guess you could say that it's Alpine track, but they just forget about the track part.
Let's go.
Let's go. The uphill in a lot of these tracks makes it very hard to know what's coming. You really need to memorize the tracks, because otherwise it's impossible. With the lack of minimap, it's just not possible to know what you're supposed to do. This track seems pretty hard so far. Oh, okay. That's an interesting jump. Yeah, this ain't going very well right now. Wait, so don't you have a penalty for stepping on the snow? I mean a speed penalty. Well, you kinda do, but I guess it's worth taking for that previous corner. Maybe. I don't think I can win this one though. I mean, not in this attempt. Because usually the first place is quite far from the second. At least that corner that I was struggling with on the first lap is not that hard to do, but yeah, I will need another attempt. Oh, or, well, maybe, but no, I think the track is over after a couple corners, so I don't think I can overtake this guy before that. Or maybe I do. Alright. Well, I guess I don't need to waste an attempt on this. Well, as long as I don't fuck up there. And there it is. Losing the race on the last corner. Which, by the way, I mean, in case you haven't noticed yet, that white car is doing the most obvious and degenerate rubber banding that I ever seen. He doesn't even try to hide it. If you look at the radar when he's behind, if he's very behind, you will see that he speeds up in a way that is just not possible. That's pretty nice of you. But he's the only one that does it. The other cars, once you overtake them, they are not a problem anymore. But since this white car is supposed to be your rival, he will do it. Damn it, sack of shit. I can't believe it. I still don't know how to do this jump, because even if you're heading even if you're heading to the direction you want to steer to, it doesn't really do shit. Like, maybe I just need to reduce the speed. Yeah, the fact that the rubber banding is so bad is most likely the reason why there is no button dedicated to making you look back, allowing to look back, I mean. The issue is that on that jump, that guy always overtakes. Because you lose so much speed from that jump that it just doesn't seem possible to avoid it. What did this yellow guy do? Get out of here. Alright. Green guy. You shouldn't be a problem, but yeah, the white car is gonna be a problem. I still have no idea how to do this jump properly. Oh, I guess that's how you do it. Alright. I'll take that then. Sadly, I completely wasted one continue. And it says now the long tracks. I have a slight feeling that the one that wrote the English in this game was an ESL. Like, I have the slight feeling that he's an ESL. Wait, you can save progress, really? Oh, alright. That's pretty impressive. The fact that it just lets you... So I basically have a checkpoint. Also, the first track is Stuttgart. I'm assuming Stuttgart is in Germany, right? Considering that, well, obviously Porsche comes from Germany. Seems like it will be the case, right? Probably. Oh, okay, so now... So this is not a shortcut, this is just an alternative version of the track. Ah, fuck me. These are what the long tracks are. Basically an alternative version. I'm assuming that if you lose all continues, you can start back from here, probably. Maybe. Will make sense. I'm assuming that the black car that I remember appears on the last 4 set of races and not here. Radar. No, the radar is such a stupid idea. Like, it really feels like that piece of UI will not be there and there will be no difference. In fact, if I was playing this game in widescreen, I could place my camera like above that radar and it wouldn't change anything. You wouldn't be missing anything. It's so damn worthless, the radar. It's absolutely worthless. Oh, careful. Is any of you following the football World Cup? Like, do any of you in chat care about the football World Cup? Because today, but one of the... You couldn't care at all about that? Alright. And what about you, Blue? Because you know that today the USA played, and it actually tied with England. England is supposed to be, you care about everything? Alright. Wait, this girl is my rival now? Alright. The USA tied with England, which is supposed to be an upset, because England is supposed to be a world-class team, while the USA is not really supposed to be a strong team. But the fact that they tied, I mean, according to some people, both teams played like shit, but that's quite an achievement. Like, for a team like the USA to tie with England. If the USA wins, we are gonna have to call it soccer. Oh fuck. Yeah, now I realize that's the wrong way. Thanks for telling me. Are they that bad? What, you mean the USA team? I mean, it's less that the USA is bad and more than they are not supposed to be at the level of other countries. And that's because, well, you know that in the USA, football is not a sport that is very popular. It's quite the opposite. It's less about them being bad and more about everyone else just being better. Especially England. England is supposed to be a world-class team, and some people even consider it one of the favorites to win the World Cup, and yet they tied. So that's very important for the USA. But you know, it seems that this World Cup is absolutely full of upsets. If, for example, my team, well, Argentina, lost against Saudi Arabia, which doesn't make any sense if you know, like if you didn't watch the match and someone told you that Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia, you will think they are joking, but no, it happened. And we actually risk being out. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. It's a weird World Cup. The teams that should be winning, well, some of them are winning, but some others are not winning. So that's the issue. It's definitely quite weird. If you are good and live in the US, you will move on to a different country. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter, because the World Cup doesn't take into account the local selections. Like, for example, only one of our players actually plays here outside of the World Cup. So it's not about where you play, but where you are from, where you were born. So it doesn't matter if you move to a different country, you still count as American for the World Cup. Unless you reject your citizenship, I guess. I still regularly think about the Brazil versus Germany national tragedy. Yeah. Oh, it's not on the right. Fuck. Was it a sweep or a close game? It was close. I mean, it was 2-1. And there were a lot of goals that were completely nullified on our side. So it was close, yes. It wasn't a complete humiliation. But just the fact that we lost to a team like that is enough of a humiliation. So, you know. That just make it more interesting. Yeah, I mean, the fact that teams that shouldn't be winning are winning makes it more interesting. Yes, that is indeed the case. But, you know, some people are not very happy. Sherman is another team that lost its match, even though they should have won. I forgot against who they lost. They lost against... What was the team they lost against? Trying to remember. Who did they lost against? Team I really cannot remember. But they lost to a team they weren't supposed to lose against. Oh, Japan, yeah, I remember now. They lost to Japan. You know, Japan, like a team that has almost no history in good placements for the World Cup. Versus a team that was multiple times a finalist. So you can see the issue there, you know. But yeah, those basically were the two biggest upsets so far. I don't know how many more upsets are gonna be left, but those two were, yeah, were interesting. Hopefully, if we go out in the group's phase, there is not a mass suicide. But I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Because I don't know if that will be the first time that we go out on group phase, if that were to be the case. I mean, if we lose the next match, we are out. If we tie, there is still a chance, but it's a little bit small. Well, last World Cup we also qualified by losing, tying, and then winning. So I'm reading online comments and people were saying Saudi had a well-organized defense. Yes, that's because the Saudi Arabia team apparently had 8 players that came from the same local team, which is not something common. Usually you take the best players from the country, and those best players are usually not in the same local team. They are in completely different teams, most of the times not even from the same country. But here, yeah, you have basically a very organized team because of that, and you know, it seems like it worked. It was serious like that? Nah, it's not that serious. I'm just joking. I mean, people that care about football, that is, which are many here, are gonna be very depressed if we go out in the groups phase. But you know, it's not gonna be as serious as a mass suicide, though. Don't worry about it. Well, some people will probably do it, but those people were gonna do it eventually. Like, it is just the drop that, you know, that overflow. Alright, so if I fail this last jump, I'm gonna lose this race. And I failed it. Nice. That jump is so fucking garbage, I cannot believe it. And this was such a long ass race with, for some reason, 4 fucking laps at that. I fucking hate this track. Wait, oh, I have 5 retries? Well, I guess they add some retries.
Wave me goodbye. Let's go.
I will be Brazil more than anything. I mean, both Argentina and Brazil are 2 countries that are very into football. So, you know. Apparently Korea also beat Germany in 2018. Yeah, that's not a good look. I think some people were saying that the Germany team has been shit for like the last years, including that past World Cup. But in 2014 we actually went to the finals with them and we lost. So, you know, they are champions. But yeah. Was an interesting match. We lost in a very tight match. They became a soulless bunch after the 2014 victory. Maybe they didn't think it was necessary to win anything else. Probably. Maybe they were like, nah, it's fine the way it is. We don't need anything else. But yeah, anything can happen. But yeah, I usually don't really care about the World Cup because it tends to be very uninteresting in terms of which teams make it in, right? But you know, well, they are probably gonna, like, one match doesn't mean anything, right? But seeing teams like Saudi Arabia and Japan win is something else. So yeah, with results like that, it gets interesting. So for this jump, I just need to brake instead of going full speed. That's how you do it. All the people seem to be pretty good sports about it. I assume because, like you say, they aren't out yet. Yeah, they aren't out yet. No. Basically, the way the group phase works is that you play in groups of 4 teams. And each team is supposed to play against each other. If you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1, and if you lose, you get none. So if you lose the first match, you can still either, well, obviously win the other 2, or you can win and tie. And that will mean that basically it is like this. If you win 2 matches, it's guaranteed that you classify. If you lose 2 matches, it's guaranteed you don't classify. If you win, tie, and lose, you can classify, but it will depend on the other results and the goal differential. Because on that situation, there is most likely another team that is tied with you. That's how it is for the groups phase. Yeah, the fact that Germany goes versus Spain next, it's kinda bad for them because Spain, well, I mean, Spain played against a team that is not strong, and that's the reason why they won with 7 goals. So that doesn't really mean much. I mean, it means that they are playing well, but it doesn't mean that they will play that well against a team like Germany. However, the odds are that, you know, are tipped against Germany. So yes, a very likely scenario is that Germany loses. And if Germany loses, they will be out in the group phase. Yes. And I don't think they will be very happy about it. You know, I mean, well, obviously nobody's happy about going out in the groups phase. No, no, don't overtake. Nice.
Amazing.
I can't believe that Champ is that fucked up. Spain versus Costa Rica. Yeah, well, Costa Rica is not a strong team. So that's, I mean, obviously 7 goals is quite a lot, but regardless of that, it is the expected result, you know? A team that is as powerful as Spain versus a team like Costa Rica 7-0 is a natural result, you know? So there are no surprises there. But yeah, the surprise is, as I said, both Argentina and Germany losing. Again, these two teams were 2 finalists in the 2014 World Cup. And the fact that they are losing, it's not just that they are losing, because I mean, losing sucks, obviously, but they are losing against teams that are not strong. Like, losing against Saudi Arabia and losing against Japan is something that shouldn't happen, you know, and yet it happened. So that's the reason why it's a relatively big deal, you know, because basically what Spain did to Costa Rica, that 7-0, that will be the expected result for both Argentina and Germany matches. And yet it wasn't. People say Japan is underrated. I mean, it's not that they are extremely bad. It's just that it's... I mean, see, here's the thing. Except for some specific teams, most of the teams are not extremely bad. They are just not better than others. You know, as I say with like the USA, right? I mean, the USA might not be absolutely catastrophically bad, if that's even a word. But they are just not at the same level as other teams. And Japan is the same story. They are not at the level to compete. Is Costa Rica bad? Yes. Yes, they are. It's pretty much like Qatar. Qatar, which is the host of the tournament, is already out. You know, they are already out, and it's to be expected, you know. And yes, before you ask, yes, they are extremely bad. those are the kind of teams that never had a chance, you know. Japan, I guess it's not one of those teams that doesn't have a chance. I mean, no. Let's say it like this. They don't have a chance of winning. And I'm pretty sure they don't. Like, there is no way they are gonna win the World Cup. But they do have a chance of getting out of groups, which is more than what some other teams can say. Why even show up? Well, I mean, the host is kinda forced to show up, you know. Wherever the World Cup is hosted, the national team gets an auto classification, because all of the other teams need to classify through regional matches, through qualifiers, but whoever is the host of the tournament doesn't need to do the qualify matches. They automatically are in, and also play the first game of the tournament. They open up the tournament. So yes, that's the reason why Qatar is there. Otherwise, obviously, they wouldn't be there, because they simply are not good, you know. Like, they wouldn't qualify under normal circumstances. Corners. Nice. But yeah, that's the way it is. Wicked. Enjoy the interactive tracks. I don't think enjoy is the word I will use here, because this, for what I remember, these races that come now are hard. They are not a joke. And as I said, here is where the black car gets introduced. Wait, did you save? Oh, it says please wait, my bad. There you go. But yes, I think that here Mr. Black Car shows up. Or maybe not here.
Let's go.
Well, maybe it's one of the last races. But not yet, I guess. Well, clearly not yet. That's not a black car. I mean, unless you're colorblind, that's kinda red. So these interactive tracks are called like this because the paths change in between laps. So now, in this case, that there are two paths, I enter the left one. Well, on the next one, it's gonna, well, I don't know if it's the next one or the one after that, the right path is the one that's gonna be open. That's why they are called interactive. What are these corners? Anyways, you probably already have it or not, maybe not. But on Steam right now, Blue, there is a collection of Sega Genesis games that is on sale. You can purchase like 50 something Sega Genesis game for a very low price. If you are interested, because I know that you like Sega. Maybe you will be interested. You do indeed like Sega, yeah. But yeah, basically you have that. It includes games such as Streets of Rage, you know, Toe Shaman Earl, Columns. What other game does it include? Vectorman, Bonanza Bros. Well, Phantasy Star. It includes a lot of titles that are obviously from the Sega Genesis. It used to include Sonic 1, 2, and 3, but they retired it when Origins came out. But you can still buy 3D Blast and Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. There is that. You have the Sega Mega Drive Genesis Classics, but that only includes the Sonic games? Oh, I see. Well, yeah, here you have all of them. Well, I mean, no, not literally all of the Genesis games in existence, but it's a solid selection. You also have Echo the Dolphin. Well, that game is questionable. I remember when I was a kid, I played Echo Jr. for the Sega Genesis, and that game was cool. The game has workshop support. People illegally uploaded a bunch of ROMs to it. Damn. That's pretty nice. And you know that speaking of Sega, well, you also know that on the Switch there is like some games that are released through the label of Sega Ages, right? And I already bought Outrun, but I'm still thinking if I should buy the other ones. Like there is the two first Puyo Puyo games. There is Columns 2. There is one that I think is called Chaos Zone, and another one that is like a 3D shoot 'em up that is a little bit weird.
Let's go.
Yeah, there is stuff like that. And I'm kinda tempted to buy it. There is also Virtua Racing. Yeah. Seems like a nice idea. You know, this guy is this guy is doing slalom between the palm trees, just flexing. Hey, check this slalom out, bro. Oh, I gotta be careful here. It's gonna be hard to notice when the bridge is gonna be available and when it isn't. Gonna be slightly challenging. Wonder, because I'm seeing that in a lot of these races I'm having. Oh shit! That car just crashed head first into the train. And poor guy. Well, I think it was a girl, but well, poor girl, I guess. She's gonna be fine. I mean, after all, there are no damages in this game, so don't you worry about it. Now I really wonder if that black car that I was mentioning was in my imagination or if it actually shows up for the last race. Because he didn't appear yet. Maybe it was a creation of my imagination. You never know. It could be. It could indeed be. Maybe it only shows up if you play on hard. That would be interesting. But no, I don't think that will be the case. Nice. I wonder if the next track is gonna be the Alps or Chapin, because in the first batch of races, Chapin showed up first and then the Alps. But in the second one, it was first the Alps and then Chapin. So I wonder... Okay, so the Alps show first again. And I swear the black car appeared here. Like, I swear I'm not insane. Like, come on, dude. Like, the black car definitely appeared in the Alps. Don't make me look like an absolute madman. Alright, there it is. See, I told you. And this guy has a full racing suit as well. See, I wasn't crazy. I was right that this guy appears. I don't know what difference there is though. I don't think he's faster. I mean, he's still your rival. He basically rubber bands his way to wait, what? Wait, how is he there? Oh, he took a shortcut, I think. But what shortcut did he take? Or maybe he just cheated. Damn it. Are we dealing with a cheater? Unbelievable. Yeah, I think he is cheating. Pretty cool. Dr. Disrespect will be proud. Activate Nitro Boost. Yeah, but I don't think it's even that. Like, he's just taking shortcuts that don't exist. Or maybe they do exist, but... I don't know. Oh, speaking of... fuck. No, not speaking of that. Speaking of Nitro Boost, I bought the Crash Team Racing remake. So that's something that I will eventually play. Don't know exactly when, but it's definitely in my plans. And I'm looking forward to it. Especially because apparently it has more characters. But not only more characters, but... like one of the characters that should have been playable in the original one, which is the final boss, Nitrous Oxide, is actually playable here. That's pretty cool. That's very, very nice. pretty clear though is if I play that game, it will take some time to beat it. Because I remember that on the original one had so much content. And if they actually add more content in this remake, it will have a shit ton of content. It will be crazy. I also don't remember if you could use in this game the black car, like if you unlocked it or if it was just it was just there. I don't remember. But I do remember beating this game. That's for sure. Still cheating, I see. Can you stop cheating, Mr. Black Car? I will appreciate it. Like, I don't think I'm asking for too much, right? Just, you know, stop being a cheating asshole. Seems good enough to me. I mean, it seems reasonable enough. In third? Wait, what you mean third? Wait, he's not the only one cheating? Wait, is everyone cheating? Him, alright. Pretty nice. I don't even know how he got there. Wait, and Wait, it's not even the black car that was there that overtook me. It was someone else. What? I think I know why that happens. It's not that they are cheating, rather it's that some of these branching paths are changing, and are changing while they are passing through that. Well, how do I avoid that? Like, am I supposed to be slower so I can get to the optimal path? I guess. Something like that. That's messed up. Oh, well, that's another thing now that I remember about Crash Team Racing. Crash Team Racing is a game that has a lot of shortcuts. And if you want to complete the game, you kinda need to know where they are. So it's important. Very bad corner. When will you play Deltarune Chapter 2? I don't know. I don't really feel like playing it. I mean, I don't remember anything about Chapter 1. And it's not like it was a game that I like a lot. It was cool, but but it wasn't anything like out of the ordinary, I think. Of course, I will be lying if I say that I'm not curious to see what else it has to offer, but I wouldn't say that it's very high in my priorities. You thought that I love Undertale? I mean, I like Undertale, but Deltarune is not Undertale. I mean, yes, it comes from the same guy and it's supposed to be in the same universe or whatever. They are two different games, you know. I mean, Deltarune again was okay, but the little that I played, I prefer Undertale. I guess. But that's the thing, I don't even remember, because it's been like 3 years since I played Deltarune, and even longer since I played Undertale. So, not like I particularly remember very well to compare them both, you know. Are the characters? No, it has nothing to do with the story. I mean, what I remember is that Deltarune was more of a... I don't remember much, but I remember that it was more focused on like... Oh, this is a shortcut. Sorry, I got distracted. What I remember is that it was more oriented towards like a turn-based RPG rather than the Danmaku thing that Undertale had going for it. Where is the first place? Because I wouldn't be seeing it. Oh, shortcut. Yeah, well, all these shortcuts are pretty cool, but where the fuck is the first place? I mean, it's there, according to the minimap, it's not that far, but... it's far enough for me to not reach. Well, it's actually pretty far.
Hey, it's too bad.
What? This is a little bit... Okay, do I need to take those shortcuts every time? Because I feel like there's something that doesn't add up here. Because if I don't take them every time, I mean, how else was that guy so fast? He probably took the shortcuts every single time. Hey man, I thought that the black car was the one that was hard to beat. Alright. So at least I know where two of the shortcuts are. The problem is that the shortcuts are not there every time. For example, that one wasn't open there, that door shortcut. You can just take them whenever you want, it's whenever they are open. That's the question, when do they open? That's a nice overtake. If that was the last lap, I will be extremely pissed right now. Thankfully, it was just the first one. Did that shortcut open? I think that shortcut actually opened. It's just that it opened right as I was passing through it, so I didn't really want... No, it didn't open, no. Never mind. I guess it starts from the third lap, because if I don't do things very differently, I'm gonna lose again. Very clearly. God damn it. Well, that's okay. That door is also not open yet. Well, again, we are not on the third lap yet, so it's understandable, I guess. But yeah, I think it opens on the third lap. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for the third lap to see what happens. Those rocks, a little bit fucked up. At first I thought that they were obstacles like the cones that you could just crash and send flying, but no. That ain't the case here. Right, so yes, now this thing is open. It seems that the third lap is what causes these things to open. Now the question is, where is the first place? Another thing that I wonder is if there are this type of shortcuts in Japan, the Japanese track. Because if they are, I need to learn where they are as soon as possible. That door is still not open though. Interesting. Only one of the shortcuts was open there. The first place is still nowhere to be seen. Which kinda... it's not a good thing. I keep crashing against those shitty ass rocks. Just, for some reason they are very hard to dodge. Get out. Okay. This is still open. The fact that the first place is so far is pissing me off. See, now it appears on the radar, but the fact that it appears on the radar doesn't mean much. It could still be very, very far. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he is. Okay, that is now open. But it begs the question of how was I able to... Because dude, the first attempt that I had here, I overtook them all. So I don't understand why I'm failing every single time now. It makes absolutely no sense. Also, how is it going, Kyle? That's an interesting comeback mechanic through the entire track. I mean, the issue that I'm having here is that the first place is not even close. I don't know if this is a bug. Because if it's not a bug, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make any sense if it's not a bug. Because I'm going as fast as I can. Wow, wait, this shortcut is now open? So this... are these shortcuts open randomly? I just don't get it. It's like the most random ass shit. But I wonder if they are random or if it depends on something in particular. I don't know. Could be anything. See, that one is not open. That one is still closed. Have you played Sled Storm? No. I don't... for some reason that name rings like a very distant bell, but I don't know what I should associate that name with. But no, I didn't play it. Pretty sure I will remember otherwise. But yeah, it does ring a bell, like a friend recommended it to me or something. It sounds like that. Like a recommendation. Wait, the minimap... What? The minimap disappeared for a little bit there. That was weird. Wait a second, you can look back if you press down? Oh, alright. So you can see these assholes rubber banding shamelessly? That will be interesting to see, I gotta say. But that will be a little bit too distracting if I don't want to kiss the walls. That's the issue. Okay, the first place is actually there now. So I just don't understand why he's now here, but all of those previous attempts he wasn't. Like, was it random because the track changed badly for me? So I took the long route every single time? I mean, how am I supposed to change that? That's not something that depends on me, or does it? Because right now, if for the final lap I get the slow route, but the guys behind me get the fast one, I am equally fucked, right? Isn't that how it works? Hopefully that's not how it works. That will be a shame. It will be a shame, and it will also be... No, I think that right there, despite the fact that there are barriers, maybe you can go to the right. No, or maybe no. No, I mean, the black car at least is following me, so maybe not. I don't know, though. The yellow car seems to also still be behind, but I don't know for how long. This is it could be the same thing that it happened in the first attempt, that all of a sudden I was getting overtaken and I wasn't seeing how. I might lose it to the black car though. It's not a good thing. And what's important is the final jump, not fucking that one up. Come on, come on. No! Ooh, that was so fucking close. Holy shit. That was probably less than a millisecond. Whew. Damn, that was intense. The question is, how much bullshit is Japan gonna have? Because if it has as much bullshit as the Alps, it's gonna be a problem. My sis recommended that game to me, it's good. Right, but what is it about? Like, I don't know what it is about. What the fuck? I think I wasn't supposed to be here. Damn it. Yes, I realize I'm going the wrong way. Thanks for telling me. Okay, so I thought that was gonna be some sort of shortcut or whatever, but it wasn't. Well, I might fail the checkpoint and that means instantly losing, obviously. Okay, I think I lost. Damn, that's one attempt and the checkpoint was there. Damn it. That's quite a shame. They still let you retry, I'm pretty sure. Just that I don't know how many retries I have. I have 2. And an attempt like that, wasting it just like that seems like a problem. It's snowmobiles racing. Interesting. Right. Don't go to the left, I guess. I can't believe it, dude. Like, one attempt completely thrown to the garbage bin. The problem is that this these tracks can be pretty confusing then. But I don't even know what the shortcuts here look like. Also, when the radar disappears, it's not that it's getting bugged or that I press something. It disappears because there is no car nearby. It doesn't show anything. This is a shortcut though. Just that I don't know if it's a very effective shortcut because you still need to brake a lot. It doesn't really seem like it saves you that much time. But I guess it saves you some time. Alright. Is there gonna be an alternate route here? Apparently not. Well, not yet. Let's see, right or left? So that left route is not usable? Or does that open up at some point? I'm assuming that is a shortcut that opens up at some point. But how will you know if it's open? Because you cannot see the bottom of it, like, without going in. What I still can't believe is the simulation mode thing that this game has. The fact that the simulation mode is better than the arcade mode is so messed up. It makes absolutely no sense. Alright, so the question is if the first place is gonna be like the one on the Alps that is extremely far away, or if it's in a reasonable spot. For what it looks like though, it doesn't seem to be on a reasonable spot. Which is quite a shame. I see it there though. It was somewhere there, but I don't know how close that will be. Especially since this is like... he's somewhere there. So I guess he is close enough. I don't think we are just gonna... Yeah, okay, never mind, he's right there. So unless there is another shortcut bullshit like in the previous race, this should be a guaranteed victory. Because I also don't see the black car overtaking me. Because the end of this... The end of this track is not hard. It's not like that bullshit jump from the previous race. Like here it's actually just these corners that you see here. And they are pretty easy to do. Even if you crash like that, it doesn't really matter. Wait, why did he go back so much? Wait, is there a shortcut or something? No, I guess not. Oh, there is a shortcut there, I just saw it. So you can see when the door is open. Fuck, and that's gonna cost me the race. Because that seems like a gigantic shortcut. I can still overtake them back. They didn't go that far. I mean, the black car went a little bit far, but it's there. As long as the race doesn't abruptly end. No, it shouldn't. There are still a lot of corners left. I should be able to overtake this guy. Yeah, there it is. It's corners. Damn it. And don't choke now, come on. Alright. Got him. Whew.
Amazing!
And I win. I actually win. And I almost didn't. You are a champion. I'm not the champion, no, I'm a champion. Well, that is technically correct, but still pretty funny wording. Well, there it is. Congratulations, now challenge the mirror mode. How do you challenge yourself how do you challenge yourself to a tall building leaping? See who wins. I'm just kidding. That's very rude of me to say. But I wonder how this would have been in hard mode. Because it seems like most of the difficulty at the end of the day was because of the shortcuts. Outside of that, I was winning most of the races with a lot of advantage. Apparently there is a mirror mode. Yes, well, the credits are still going.